Okay guys, I just watched the new Fantastic Four trailer and I have some thoughts, some good, some bad, some really bad. I don't really do this on this channel too often. I'm just trying something new, as demonstrated by the fact that I don't actually have the video playing in the corner here. So this is super amateur, but this is just my thoughts. I loved the retro-futurism. I like the whole idea that this isn't just another family of superheroes running through downtown New York. It almost has a retro-futuristic Jetsons or Tomorrowland kind of feel to it. So I love that vibe. It's a super smart way to make the MCU version of the Fantastic Four stand out from all the other movies that they're producing. So I like that. And the soundtrack, love it. Susan and Johnny Storm, I didn't really see enough of them to have a strong opinion one way or the other. They were fine, so for now I don't have too many complaints. On the Thing, so Ben Grimm is where it gets interesting. First, the good. So I don't mind that he's a little smaller than the Michael Chiklis version. It makes sense, you know, he's not supposed to be as strong as the Hulk. He's not supposed to be quite that massive. I guess in this version he looks like he's just a guy made of rock, which is fine. He also looks like he's a little stop motiony, which gives this classic kind of Ray Harryhausen kind of feel, which I think kind of works with the 1960s aesthetic that they're going for again, but the voice just seems off. Like I think that's a Brooklyn accent that the actor is doing, but it's supposed to sound like gravel grinding against the inside of his throat or grinding against his internal organs. Like, that's how the Michael Chiklis version sounded. That's how every animation version that you've ever heard sounded. And he just needs to sound like, I don't know if his insides are actually made of stone in canon, but that's how his voice has always sounded. And this just isn't landing for me. And the other thing that isn't landing, unfortunately, is Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. So, you know, I want to give him a chance. And I know that every time someone on the internet or someone back in the day who's writing in fan mail has a strong opinion about casting, they usually are proven wrong. But so, you know, when people complain about Heath Ledger as the Joker or Michael Keaton as Batman, time usually proves them wrong. But now that we've seen how Pedro Pascal moves and how he talks as Reed Richards, it just doesn't feel right. He's supposed to be this distant, borderline obsessive, aloof scientist. You know, he's not supposed to be Tony Stark or, you know, he's not supposed to be charismatic. And, you know, to be honest, he looks like Gomez Adams. That's the vibe I got from this trailer. He looks like Gomez Adams. And I do not have a problem at all with Marvel casting a Latin American or South American actor if that's the direction they want to go in. But there are so many better options that they could have gone for. They could have gone for Alfonso Herrera or Diego Boneta or Rodrigo Santoro. And this just feels like Marvel wanted to give Pedro Pascal a major starring role, and this is the one that was available right now. It honestly doesn't feel like a good fit. I feel like all those other actors could have pulled off a pretty good Reed Richards, and this is what we got instead. And also Galactus. Again, we'll wait and see, but Marvel had a huge opportunity here. They could have made the MCU version of Galactus into a kind of celestial version, tied him into the Eternals design, and made him feel like a massive, ancient, godlike being. And I think they dropped the ball. He is a guy in a goofy helmet, and I think the reason why they're only showing the back of his head right now is because once we see the front of his head, he's going to look like the Marvel Ultimate Alliance version of Galactus. And that is fine and it's comic accurate, but it's also super unimaginative and underwhelming. I think people aren't going to love the full design when they see it unless they really turn it around between now and the film's release. I was actually really psyched about the idea that Galactus could be a kind of Celestial in the MCU. I get why they didn't do it, because the Eternals movie obviously didn't do that well, but yeah, that's the back of the head shot for me kind of was a bit of a red flag. So the positive, I like the 1960s aesthetic, I like the soundtrack, I like the Thing's design, don't like the Thing's voice, don't like Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, and I think Galactus could go either way. So let me know what you think in the comments. Am I being too harsh? Do you think the Thing's voice or the version of Galactus they do is actually going to be good? I'm interested to see your thoughts.